Now, firefighters are attending to a fire at an SAB depot in Soweto. We're told no injuries have been reported, but residents have been urged to stay clear of the area. Nqobile Madlala is there for us, and SAB is obviously South African Breweries. Nqobile, the fire behind you there, it looks to still be blazing.
Blazing indeed, Michelle. In fact, we know that EMS firefighters are still very much on site. From what we understand, this fire started at about 12 o'clock somewhere, and it continues to be blazing at this very point, as you can see on my right-hand side. Now, I'm going to try and show you more details. We're seeing more and more firefighters coming in. It doesn't seem like the raging fire is going to stop anytime soon. But what is very relevant about where we are, Michelle, is that this is a very strategic point for SAB breweries. This is mainly because this is one of the major depots where they are able to send some of their breweries from, some of their beer from this area to around Soweto, and you'll know there's a big market there. So it's in a sense a place where they are able to infiltrate the area in terms of Soweto, in terms of their target market. So it is actually going to hurt to have to deal with this kind of fire at this very point. I mean, I know that we still have some of the firefighters on the ground. We know that as they try to stop the fire, of course, there'll be more investigations in terms of where it started and how it started. But at this very moment, it's really just about trying to curb the fire from continuing. We know that no injuries have been recorded. We also know that some of the staff members have been asked to leave the area, so they have been evacuated. And of course, EMS just watching it quite closely in terms of what will happen going forward. Again, very strategic point for SAB. And of course, we know that they've got about 7 depots around Johannesburg, but this one being one of the key because it's one in the south where they are able to infiltrate their market this side. But we are seeing, of course, more of those firefighters on the ground just still working around the fire to try and control it.
Yeah, so what you're saying, Nqobile, it started at 12 o'clock this afternoon. This is a fire that's now 3 hours old. I wonder what experts will tell us about the intricacies of putting out a fire involving alcohol.
Yeah, very, very tricky indeed, Michelle, because you'll see most of these trucks will have like a sign that says flammable. So it will be very important to get those details. But what we also know is that the fire started because of what was happening on the side. So where we were standing, there's a bush, and we understand that people, or somehow there was a burning fire, and that then sparked the fire at the actual brewery. And we know that, Michelle, of course, that will also be part of the investigations once the SAPS gets on the ground to explain more details in terms of what has taken place. But just an important information, Michelle, is that as we know that this is one of the depots, we know that also SA Breweries has about 47 depots in South Africa. So this one specifically is very strategic, and for them to have this one down, it might have an impact. And of course, we're still trying to figure out what will happen to the workers once the fire has been finally extinguished, and in terms of how long the EMS services also will have to be on site, because it does seem to be very much alive still. It's still very much blazing at this very point, but more details are coming in, Michelle, as we are here to sort of understand what is the way forward for SA Breweries. We're also trying to reach them to get more details, but at the moment, what we know is that there's no injuries that have been reported, and we can of course see the emergency teams that are on site, and that they're trying to stop further damage, as what EMS has explained to us.
All right, Nqobile Madlala is our reporter on the scene there. A fire that's been raging now for 3 hours, and it looks like Johannesburg emergency services are nowhere near getting this fire under control. We'll continue to keep an eye on it for you, perhaps get you some insight into what it takes to put out a fire of this magnitude, particularly when it involves this amount of alcohol.